Hello, Math 5s. Today what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with long division, except now we're going to have remainders. And I'm going to show you two different types of ways. One is just to leave it as a remainder and just tell people how much is left. The second way that I'm going to show you is actually to create a decimal number. So either one will be just fine. Some questions might ask you just to leave it as a remainder. Some might actually ask you to leave it as a decimal. In particular, when you work with money, it makes more sense to leave money as a decimal. So we'll try a couple questions here and hopefully it makes sense first. So you get to see a couple more questions doing long division. So just a reminder, the thing doing the dividing, the 5 in this case, goes out in front. And then we have 728 will go underneath this division symbol. So first thing I ask ourselves is, hey, I've got 7 here, and I'm dividing it up into 5 groups. How much is in each group? You'll say, oh yeah, of course, there's just going to be 1 in each group. But 1 times 5 is 5. I'm left with 2 left over. So 7 minus 5 is 2. So I only used 5. I had 7 I could have used, so I've got 2 left. Now we bring back down the next number, and you can see we have 22 here. So in this case, I have 22. If I divide it up into 5 groups, how much is in each group? Well, you'll start thinking of your multiples, 5, 10, 15, 20. So 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. That's too many. So you can see we're going to have 4 in each group, because 4 times 5 is 20. And again, we're left with 2. We're going to bring down our next number, 8. So now we have 25. Well, we just did these multiples, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So you can see 5 times 5 is 25, so 5 times 5 is 25. And you can see in this case, we didn't use all 28. So we're left with 3. And we're done. We don't have any more numbers up here that we're working with. So you can see if you divide 728 into 5 groups, you have 145 in each group, but you have 3 remaining. So I'm just going to put the R3 at the end. Let's move to the next one here. I got a money one, so we're going to leave it as a decimal, because money comes in decimals, like 10 cents, 15 cents. So in this case, we put the 2 out in front, the division symbol, 233. So we first ask ourselves, hey, we've got 2. We're dividing it up into 2 groups. How many are in each group? So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. We had 2. We used 2. We have none left. Bring down the 3. We've got 3. We're dividing it up into 2 groups. So therefore, you can see we only will have 1 in each group. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 minus 2 gives us 1. We've got 1 left over. Bring down the 3. We're now left with 13. We're dividing 13 up into 2 groups. So think of your multiples. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 12 is the best option we've got. So 6 times 2 gives us 12. 6 times 2 is 12. And again, we have 1 left over. Now, in the previous case, we just wrote the remainder, and then we put 1. But what I want you to do is we have $233 and no cents. So I'm going to just put 2 zeros here. So this is like $233 and no cents. So I put a tenths value and a hundredths value, because that's how we deal with money. And what we can do is now, you see where this decimal point is? We just are going to move it up here. We're going to put it in our question. So we're going to bring this 0 down. And we now have 10. You say, oh, I'm dividing 10 up into 2 groups. How many are in each group? You can see that's going to be 5. 5 times 2 is 10. I now have none left over. Now you can see I can bring down the last 0. And I have 0. I'm dividing 0 up into 2 groups. How many are in each group? Clearly, there'll be none in each group. So 0 times 2 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. I now have none left over. So 233, you're dividing it into 2. How many are in each group? $116.50. I'll just put my $sign up there. Well, I hope that gets you going. Have a good one, grade 5s.